So about a week ago, I picked up this vintage helmet right here, and somebody had put in probably one of the very first auto darkening lenses in it, but it didn't work. It's sitting on my workbench. I want to tear it apart, see if it's something simple we can look at. This, I believe, is from the 90s. I could find out a little bit of information on this this company still exists, but they don't say anything about this model. It predates any model that they even have stuff on. So let's take a look at it, see if we can, maybe it's something easy to fix. So looking at this is a XELUX X100. I found stuff on the X200 and up, and it looks like it goes from shade 3 to 10.5. Don't really see a date code on it, but the helmet, made in Switzerland, the helmet that I pulled it out of was from 1997. It could predate that. I doubt that it came in that Jackson helmet, but like originally, because this is just something you just stick in. Read instructions before use. This is about all I get. This looks like one entire sheet of plastic coming up here and over here, and then it looks like there's a decal across the front. I started peeling just the very edge, and yes. So we got our two little solar panels, but it looks like the decal covers the entire thing, so if I peel it all off, you know I'm not going to lay it back down over the viewing area good enough to not make it all like crinkly and bubbly looking. So I'm going to try to first use an X-Acto knife and cut right along there, so I can just peel off the top. I can kind of see some indents in the top area where maybe some circuitry is. So we're just going to cut around right at the top of the lens. Okay. Let's just peel this back. So essentially how this works... Oh, there's quite a bit of circuitry in there. Wow, way more than I thought. As this is just like a calculator. And you know how when you push the button on the calculator, it lights up a little, you know, those little stick figure lines or whatever. That's all this is, but this is just one line. So the solar power, once it gets bright enough light, it triggers it, and it just turns out all black, just like a number on a calculator. So I wonder what this... That almost looks like a cell, even though this is solar powered. Doesn't that almost look like a button cell, like a little battery cell? So let's see if we can dig this out. I don't see a notable capacitor on there. Let's see if I can get you guys really in there to see the circuitry. Maybe somebody could explain that microcontroller. Let's dig that out. Yep, that's just a probably a 3-volt button cell. Yep, Panasonic CR 1025. I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna dig this out, find the positive and negative connections to it. This outer side is the positive, and then I will just solder on 2 wires to come out, and then we'll just hook up an external battery. Okay, I have the battery almost completely pulled out, and then I started peeling on this, and this came up. So I think this is removable. There's actually a joint, so it is supposed to be removable. It was glued on. But then I noticed that the front might also be a sticker. So what I thought was solid, I don't know. I still think the sides and stuff are all one piece. It's hard to tell. So I'm actually going to cut out a notch so I can see the bottom side of the circuit board right here for the other side of that battery. There was a little, what looked like a solder joint right here, but I tried to test continuity between here, and I got nothing. So I got to find just the 2 points that this battery connects. Part of the problem is the battery is leaked as well, all over in there. So I was thinking this was a solder blob to the side, but it might just be smooth that leaked out of the battery. So I want to see the underside of the circuit board. Nothing. Okay. Either side? No. I don't want to just pry off the battery, but I might have to get to these terminals. Oh, there it goes. Well, that pried up way easier than I thought it would. So this is not connected to that. Is that connected to this? There's some sort of it's like thermal paste, but it's probably conductive thermal paste. But I still don't see where they were connecting. So you got one contact right here in the center, and then you got this little isolator, insulator bushing, and then the whole outside casing is your positive. But I don't see anything that connected to the outside casing. This little side piece right here, they had this conductive paste connecting the battery to that little brass terminal, so you can just solder something to there, and then right here in the center is your negative. So positive, negative, we'll just bring 2 wires out the top and be able to connect any 3-volt battery to them. We won't even worry about putting them back in there. Oh, it's actually 0.4 of a volt. And what do we get from this one? 3.1. 3 volts. Okay. And I get this question because I've done a couple of videos on people putting different size batteries and stuff. As long as the voltage is the same, it does not matter. This won't care. This won't care if you put a battery the size of a house if it's 3 volts DC. So we're going to solder directly onto it. Little batteries like this don't like solder because they're so small. You can do it. You got to be super quick though. Usually likes a short amount. Battery this size won't care. Steel likes acid flux. Put acid flux on it, which is plumbing flux, and then we just clean it off because it'll start corroding. It's left on there too long. Okay, we got it pre-tanned, both sides. This side didn't want to take it, so I sanded it again and it went. So this is our negative. Let's make sure this is pre-tanned. Both of these. Actually want to do it this way. They're so small. They don't absorb the heat. There we go. Positive, negative. Oh, it's working. See that? It actually works. You keep doing it so the frame rate picks it up. Okay, we had goo all over the little solar panels. So I cleaned that off. Took quite a while with some goo gone. And let's try the Zippo. I don't know if the frame rate on the video is going to pick it up, but it's right there. It's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. So awesome. In here around these wires. Let's see. A little bit of sticker residue shining through there, but I think I am happy with that. Okay, so it goes in this little rubber protector thing. I'm having the sticker's having a hard time kind of sticking in some spots. Let's just notch that real fast. That works. Then this just falls into there. Get those wires kind of through there. Kind of. There's really no reason to take it out of this thing once it's in it. And that just kind of cushions it. Then this. Let me try to clean off my fingerprints again. But I have to, I guess, come up with something to hold the battery real fast. Yep, every time it kicked off just like it should. Even tried to shield the arc a little bit. It works. It's a little bit slower than what I'm used to. I think my helmets kick a little bit faster, but that could just be that this is an old... Let me try my old helmet. This is a ADE, I think, Metalist VL. I bought this early 2000s from Eagle Hardware before Eagle became Lowe's around us. Yeah, this one just has like the teeniest big drag, so I can barely get a little bit of arc. It wouldn't hurt you. You know, if you're doing a lot of spots, then yeah, you're going to see a little bit more, but not enough to actually like flash burn you. I did notice when I was looking up the newer models of this, the X200 and stuff, this is the 100, that they said they only have a 10-year shelf life for these things because they put a battery in there. Planned obsolescence, I guess, or they just want you buying a new one. But there we go. This, I think this was probably around 300 bucks in, you know, the late 90s, sometime around there, and that would equate to about $600 for that silly little lens. I think somebody said the first one they ever saw was like in 1981 or something, that went around for about 300 bucks, which would have been even more. Would have been like 700-800 bucks in today's money. But thanks for watching, guys. Don't be afraid to rip apart this junk. Just put a piece of hockey tape, hold that battery there. Hey, it works. Probably never have to touch it. Have a good one, guys. See you later. Bye. There. You see? You see how it looks like I stacked dog food? Yeah, a little piece of dog food stacked. What do you think? Are you even paying attention to me? You are? Oh, come on. You're giving up? Oh, okay. Go give up. Fine. Squirrel chasing it is, not a welder.